Be fly about him. Get your swag on walk that way.
All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Style Studio Podcast. I got my girl, my business partner, friend, model, client slash canvas. She's just all around amazing and dope. We're gonna be talking to you guys about business longevity and just sharing about just some things, you know, we're learning along the way, some things that she's taught me, and we're just going to educate you guys and open up about ourselves, mostly her, because she's really dope. You guys have no idea how multifaceted she is. So yeah, so we're going to just jump right into it. Anna, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, so I'm Anna. A couple things I do is the modeling, but what I really do is engineering, you know.
Woo-hoo.
So I got the math science behind that. And for marketing, the way I can speak on it is because I'm a data analyst as well, certified data analyst. So I'm able to look at the data that markets and companies have and be able to tell you the story behind it, as well as having a Lean Six Sigma black belt, which basically means I can look at your company, your process, and see where the waste is, why it's taking so long, where you can cut that out, where you can save some money, how you can reduce defects, everything. So there's little trinkets that you get here and there. So I know that, so I know how to help out companies grow and have longevity.
And scale.
So, yes, and grow up and scale up. Yes, get out the house, get a warehouse, all those things. So, yes.
I love it. This is a really good topic, and this is like the perfect time because, of course, you know, some of you guys already know as well. Of course, I launched my hair care line in April, right at the cusp, at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yes.
And so I really just took a leap of faith and just dropped. I was like, look, my spirit was just like, do it.
Yep.
You need to start.
Take that chance.
Take the chance.
Take the chance.
Because it could only bless the, you know, others. So there's a reason why I had what I had, you know, inside of me. You're so silly. She looking like, I want to get on the podcast too.
Why aren't you on the podcast too?
She gonna get on. Watch. Yeah, not like look. She want to get comfortable. I know. But
fair.
So yeah, I launched, you know, Curly Kink Connect in April, natural hair care line for all curl types, all curl textures. It is a multi-textured, elite organic hair care line.
Yes, ma'am.
So we are definitely geared towards curls, any shape, form, it doesn't matter. We're geared towards making sure that, you know, hair care, artistic freedom, and expression is, you know, all connected. So
you have your niche. Curls is you.
yeah,
That's who you market to.
pretty much.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't care what complexion you are. As long as you got a curl, Curly Kink is for you, boo.
Yes, ma'am.
So Anna and I were talking a couple weeks ago when we had that fun session, that TikTok session.
She got my lavender on my
and
head.
laid that lavender. And she was talking about some really, 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 just some really key things to keep in mind and to think about in business. And with me just starting out with this business, because I had the salon before, and now I have the podcast, but the hair care line, that's an actual product.
Yes.
So the other things are just services, but now that I'm actually getting things into people's hands,
Yes.
producing it, making it myself, let's go into how that can go from the kitchen
Right.
to the lab to the, you know, to the warehouse.
Yes. Oh. And you start off small, right? You start and you got your thing going
I had
on.
plastic bottles.
Yep.
$1 plastic travel size bottles.
And scaling up could go from plastic to glass, right?
Now
and
we got 4
that's
ounce
a small
glass.
scale, right? And so you have it, you're working at the house, and all of a sudden your clientele booms.
Right.
And what one person's able to do is now over, maxed out.
Exactly.
And so you have to be able to balance that and figure out, okay, how much can one person really do? And at what point is what you're doing starting to hurt your profit?
Exactly.
Because of how many hours you're putting in.
Right.
So if you're putting in 90 hours a week, 80 hours a week, and getting a certain amount of profit that you could be doing with 2 people, you can actually make more by paying somebody.
Right.
But people think that if you're paying somebody,
You're losing
money. But if you add that body in, the amount that you pay them, but the amount that your product increases, the amount you're able to get out, outweighs that amount that you're going out to them.
Yes.
And so just because you're paying out here doesn't mean that your profit's going down. It can actually exponentially increase.
And then just the fact that you're able to pay somebody shows that you're growing. It shows that you're scaling. So, with it only being just one person, you're only really holding on to that little amount, that little portion. It's nothing compared to what you can get having someone else having someone else involved in the operation,
be a part of it, grow it. And then you add their clientele in, right? Now you got their people who they know brought in,
right?
As long as they're a part of your brand and they believe in your brand,
right?
You just brought in a whole new area, right? So now you got Cali people on your side because I know people from California. You got South Dakota people because I know people from South Dakota. You're not just stuck in Augusta. And you got Texas people because you're from Texas. And then you got people who
Florida,
know people,
New York, Philly,
Alabama, so
New Orleans. Yes.
There it is. New Orleans. Look. So you start trickling down everywhere. You got college people. Now they're going back to their colleges.
Yes.
So it's just...
And honestly, you opened that up mentally for me because I wasn't even thinking on that level. I was just let me help out my fellow sisters in Augusta. Mm-hmm. And then of course, my clients in Texas noticed too. They were like, "Girl, you got hair care products? Order. Mm-hmm. Send me this whenever it's ready." Yep. Pre-ordering stuff. And then people in Philly that I had just connected with through doing Herbalife hitting me up. And I mean, that's why I never took away from the little things that I was doing. Yeah. Because it was I still kept those connections,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Those people are still in full support of what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So I'm grateful for that. So what do we decide business longevity was?
You said a marathon. Right?
Period.
So you just keep going. You increase your longevity, you just keep it going and being able to maximize on it and profit off it, right?
Exactly.
You can have longevity, but if it's hurting your pockets, it's coming towards the end.
Right, exactly.
So
exactly.
Increase longevity. Mm-hmm.
So now we're talking about how to build trust with customers.
Yes. That's the hard part. And a lot of people don't do it accurately. And one thing that we try to do, I know you try to do, and you have Velocity Aesthetics out there doing it, is transparency.
Velocity Aesthetics on the skin today.
On the skin.
We just want y'all to take your time and your attention and focus it on the skin.
No filters here.
No filters at all.
No, not at all.
And we're back.
But transparency. Your customer wants to see start to end point.
Right.
You got people selling waist trainers who got plastic surgery and trying to sell it to you the waist trainer did it for you. No, ma'am. So if I slap that waist trainer on, I ain't had no surgery, it's not going to get the same results. So if you got hair care products and you have a 2-year-old who had dry hair and all of a sudden it's full flourishing, curls popping, and it's healthy. Yeah. And you can see from the start to the finish, that's going to build trust. Yeah. You see a skincare, you see a person film it, say, hey, I haven't had my face touched with this skincare, so this is where I'm starting at. And then you record the process and you're open with your customers about it. Now they can start to see what you're really about instead of just a picture saying, hey, this person uses this. They know that you use this. Right. You're actively trying to show it to them. You're not trying to just show the end result without seeing, I use this skincare, but I still use Cetaphil in the background kind of thing, you know. So people want to see the rawness of it. Right, exactly. They want to see the process of when you be posting on Instagram, you doing it. Yes. That makes it more personal. Right, exactly. It's not some corporation. Mm-hmm. Some people want to support the smaller businesses that aren't corporations because of what goes into it. Exactly. And then it's so much more intimate. Yes. Yeah. And people are looking for that because you can mass produce, but where's the love that's put into it. There's
Exactly.
love put in behind these brands.
Oh, yeah.
And so people can feel it. Their hair can feel it. Their skin can feel it. Everything.
So you want to talk about your jewelry? Excuse me, Jade's jewelry.
Jade's jewelry. Yes. So this goes into longevity too. So I have a 2.5-year-old who I'm trying to teach
Freaking
business
genius.
to. She's smart. But I'm trying to teach financial like freedom to her. And so she has a jewelry making business. So she picks out the colors, she picks out the shape, she's learning, she's actively engaged, her hands-on. She makes custom pieces, off the dome for her. And we do custom orders too that she gets to pick out, what goes in and everything. But every sale and profit goes straight to her college fund. So as she grows older, she sees what she's doing is hard work, but she also gets to see the number in her college fund grow.
Yes.
And even though she doesn't have direct access to it, she's starting to learn that long-term wise is a lot better than the short-term spending.
Right.
So she has this in a pocket here, and whatever she decides to do with her life, she's financially secure, and she did that.
You're right. Exactly.
From a 2.5. So you got, I made $100 this week, which doesn't sound like a lot, but $100 compounding for 6.5 years.
Talk about that
crazy.
Compound interest, girl.
Right. And then, it goes from 100 to 200, keeps scaling up. So now you got 1,000 compounding over 15 years. Right. And so it's the same with businesses. You got to think about the compound and where it goes. So if you start off small, but you put it in the right places, in the right pockets, whether it's marketing, customer service, advertising, everything, people are going to start to see that. And then you'll see your small compound interest, your small investments grow.
Right.
And exponentially.
Whew. So this isn't one of the things that we put on here, but
we're just going off the dome. So
yeah, at this point, because it's pretty dope. It's pretty authentic conversation.
Yes.
So when you talk about compound interest, do you want to share like what type of accounts may be helpful for people? Because I know some people don't know the difference between a credit union and then a bank.
Right.
So you have you're insured by the like FDI insured,
right,
FDIC insured for banks, and then you have the NACU. I call it NACU, but it's NCUA insurance.
Right.
So you're covered up to a certain amount with credit unions, and then you're covered up to a certain amount with your bank. But what type of accounts would you tell someone to have, to start getting compound interest on like small portions of their investment?
Oh, that's a good question. And it's really what your goal is, right?
Yeah.
Is this your business or is this your hobby?
Yeah.
So like, where do you want your money going? Do you want a short-term return or you want a long-term return? And so you have to start looking at like what the pros and cons are. Do your taxes get taken up out front? Or does it get taken on later on? And so are you getting taxed up front in a lower tax bracket, or are you getting taxed later on at a higher tax bracket, but you get taxed less times? And so those are the things that you have to look at. And so it just depends on like what kind of company you're going for. Are you in it for the long term?
Yeah.
And what you're really trying to look at. And so, like you said, whether it's for personal, like a Roth IRA, or just a regular 401k, figure out what you're trying to do with that. There's so many different accounts out there depending on what you're trying to do. But what you got to look at is where the taxes are coming from, what kind of interest it is, and what your goals are as a company and as a business. And can you afford the short-term hit for the long-term return? Right. Or do you have to have a quick return, even though it might cost you more in the long run?
Yeah.
And it can switch. Once you start having constant income, you can switch your accounts. Right. So now you can afford hard hits in the beginning because you can pay for it because you'll get your return on investment later down the line. Yeah. So it just depends on what kind of income you're having and going. So, but definitely you got to look at those things instead of just saying, oh, it's going to be cheaper right now. It might be way more expensive in the long run that you won't be prepared for.
Right. So
definitely have to look at those things.
And I've talked to people who tell me, they pay their taxes quarterly, right? Because it's it's easier on them to just pay it quarterly than trying to scramble around, at the later end of the year, trying to pay, that big fee, which I like that better than trying to wait, and try to have all this money, but quarterly I would rather pay taxes quarterly. Yep. So
it's definitely, you can be more accountable that way. Say you can do like projecting. So you can project your sales and everything and project how much taxes you're going to spend on that. Right. And say you project that you have to spend 10 grand in taxes. Right. Instead of paying 10 grand up front, start taking, let's say over the 12 months, you take about 800 each month and just put it away. Yeah. So you never really lose it, and you're not coming up with 10 grand. Not a lot of people have 10 grand. Just sitting. But you got 800 a month here and there. Yeah. You know?
Because that's like rent.
Yeah. And so, because if you don't think you got it, you start spending that 800 each month, and now you don't have the 10,000. Mm-hmm. But if you put that 800 away each month, now you got that 10,000 to put. Or if you just pay it each quarterly. Yeah. You know? Yeah. So that way you don't even have it sitting anywhere. But definitely, for me, I pay them in smaller chunks. Yeah, you know, I like just that. Make sure there's no penalty for paying it sooner, or, you know, quarterly or anything. Right. So, but yeah.
So we did talk about scaling. So marketing, imagery, and name. Yes. How does that affect the buying?
You know, the customer wants to feel like you're appealing to them. Right. Right. And so let's just go say these days, if there's a company that says Confederate something, we're not going. We're not buying from it. Even if it has a beautiful product, we're not welcome there. Right. And we're not going to buy from there.
Because we know what it represents.
Right. And so it's the simple things like the name that can deter someone. It doesn't matter what kind of quality product you have. It could be the colors, you know. So if you want to sell a feminine product, but you have a hard red and black, it sends a different message. Exactly. You got men's skincare, women's skincare, and you adjust the marketing to those, you know? Right. But it's still the same brand, but men and women are attracted to different colors, different fonts, different everything. Mm-hmm. And so it's the little things. Now you got the visuals. If you have a market that can go for everybody, but your visuals are just geared towards one demographic, it automatically starts thinking like the human psyche. If it doesn't look like you, feel like you or anything, they're not going to get involved in it. Exactly. Even if the product would benefit them, right? And so with the curls, you know, all race ethnicities have curls. Exactly. And so you have to capture that in your marketing, so that doesn't seem like only African American curls, because I have mixed texture curls, and it works on my hair. Oh. And my daughter has the 4B, 4C in some areas, and it works on her hair.
And I like that you say, I love how you talk about multiple textures, because that's what I try to explain that to clients all the time, like letting them know you don't have just one curl type. No. You know, you have you have at least a minimum, and this is just minimum of 4 types of curls on just one head. Yes. So even if you think that I say, even if you think that you have 3B or 4A or you know, whatever, you still have 2 to 3 other textures that you haven't even tapped into. Yep. And so that's why I had to formulate something that was going to be that would products that can be used on one head. Yes. So you have a lightweight moisturizer, you have a butter-based moisturizer, you have a cream, you have a whipped, and then you have the oil to seal. Yep. And then you have a spray, a lightweight spray, because some things weigh down, you know, other people's curls. So I created products so like you can get multiple products and use them on one head. And not feel like you have a bunch of buildup on the head. Yep. Because even with me, like I had to use 3 of my products. I had to use the mango butter. Yep. Of course, I used the oil, and then I had to use the curl splash spray, because some parts of my hair won't curl the same.
Right, won't take it in.
Even though I'm doing the same style, I have to put more mango butter on the back versus the front. The front will soak it up and it'll stay there. Yeah. The back, it's hard to really keep the moisture. So that's why I did that. But I like how you always bring up the fact that Jade has multiple textures. Like she has multiple types of curls. So
she got waves here, and then beautiful voluptuous fro in the back, right? And
then it's like kind of straight along her edges.
And she's just she got it all going on in layered sections. And so I know how much product I got put in the curls back here and less in the front. Right. And it's because you've let us know that. Right.
Yeah. Because it'll be heavy if you're doing the same amount of product
everywhere. Yeah.
Or just the same, just the same type of product. 'Cause
Yeah.
like I said, some product is not going to reach certain levels of your hair, because you have certain levels of your hair that has normal porosity, and then you have other parts of the hair that's very low, so nothing can penetrate.
Yes.
So I'm glad we talked about that too. So what about we talked about the name, and then observing how to create content through observing the data.
Right. Yeah.
Because remember we were talking about how the back office on Instagram and Facebook will show you in our websites. It'll show the analytics, like the new traffic, the engagement, what posts are getting the best traffic.
Yep. And so there is so much behind the numbers.
Oh yeah.
And it's figuring out where there are correlations and just coincidences.
Right.
Right. And so looking at that data, you can see, okay, when I post at 2 p.m., I get X amount of views. But if I post the same thing at 5 p.m. on prime time, certain days, I get a lot more views. Same post.
Right.
Different amount of views. Just depends on when people are online,
right, exactly.
what they're looking at, when they're looking at it. And so shifting your tactics to meet where the people are. So you have to meet the people. You can't make them meet you. You got to go to the people.
Yeah.
Some people are just expecting their customers to come to them. It's like, you got to go get those customers.
Exactly.
You have to work to be humbled, right? And then when you get to this, certain level, they're going to start coming to you because people are now speaking your name, right?
Exactly.
Word of mouth. But before you get there, you got to go to them.
Right.
You got to find them. And so you just got to start thinking about those things. But the numbers, there's so much to it. And figuring out what is really behind those numbers is essential. So figuring out when you need to post, what you need to post, hashtags.
Yes.
I found people to do my hair by posting Columbia braiders.
Right.
And I found someone to do knotless braids before I met you.
Okay.
Right? And so it's those certain hashtags you're meeting them.
Right.
You gotta figure out the psychology, what are they looking for that you can produce.
Right.
So you got skincare, you say flawless, no filter here. Because people want no filter. They want to be the filter,
they want
right?
to be the filter.
They want to be the
naturally.
filter.
Wake up and be a whole filter, a whole mood.
See what's trending. See how you can match that without sacrificing your brand and your characters and your morals.
Right.
But how can you meet the high demand? So as I was telling you, people are on TikTok these days.
Oh yeah, they hanging out
on TikTok for hours. And so you come up with a popping, vibrant video where you go from black hair to lavender, hot pink something, and they want to see it popping. They want to see the transitions and everything.
Girl.
Now you're reaching people in California, Texas, Maine, all the way up there in Maine. Who knows someone in Maine? Now Valencia does. Now Velocity Aesthetics does because they're marketing correctly, And so it's the little things that people don't look, and it's the numbers that tell you that.
Right, exactly.
It is the numbers that tell you that. Why is my post not getting hits? Well, if you post at 2 a.m., most people are in bed getting ready for work.
Exactly.
So they might not see it. But if you post on lunch times, dinner times, getting ready for bed, laying in bed, scrolling for a couple hour times, it's going to produce different results for sure. So you got to look out for that. The numbers don't lie if you tell the story behind it.
All right. So what is one of the things that you appreciate and value when you're shopping with local brands? Is it communication, trust?
Yes. Trust and customer service. If I trust you to give me my money, I want to make sure that I get something in return, right?
Right.
I'm investing in you, but that means you're also investing in me.
Exactly.
Right?
The lifespan of the customer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more value of having frequent flyers than one-time buyers.
Oh.
Right? So if you can have multiple one-time buyers here and there.
These drums.
Right. You got one-time buyers and, they're hit and miss. But if you got people continuously coming back,
right,
that's going to take you further than having those hit and runs, right? Because first off, if you only have hit and runs, your product's not working to make them come back.
Right.
But now you have the longevity in your customer service, and you can have an amazing product, but if I feel like I'm a burden to you, I'm not coming back.
Right.
Because there's someone that can take your place.
Exactly.
Right.
Most definitely. And that's what I like to think about when it comes to business, because I think sometimes people get caught up in they get caught up in the cloud.
Yeah.
And I keep saying that because I remember we just went in a whole week about clout.
Yeah.
And I brought up clout because, to me, from what I've noticed, in our area, and this could be everywhere, but just I can only speak on our area right now. But what I've noticed in our area is that we have groups of clout where there's certain groups that are supported and put on this high pedestal. So then it really kind of falls to the wayside if they lack in being respectful or having good customer service or just, being compassionate.
Right.
It sometimes the clout will overshadow all of that, and then it'll eventually start to affect the brand. Right. It'll start to affect the trust. Yes. With the local people, because if I'm not supposed to know about the process or what's going on in the process, if there's a delay or something, if I'm not supposed to know that, well, then I'll go back to Amazon. Right. Because like Key had brought up, Amazon tells you the process.
Yep, step by step.
Amazon has infographic that shows you
where it's been,
and if it left the warehouse or not, if it's been fulfilled or not. And I don't think that having the attitude of not wanting to share that type of stuff with people just because you're a small business, to me, that will definitely hurt you. Right. Because we can go to Dollar General and we can still shop at all these other places who are not black owned, and we can still continue to spend our money because we're not getting the same, we're not getting the respect, and we're not getting the customer service that we deserve. Right. Because we don't know you. We just all we know is the product. Yes. Nobody really cares on the back end that it's going to take you a whole week to produce one product. Nobody cares about that. Right. So I still feel like it's important for people to know what's going on in your process and make it a habit of letting people know what's going on in the process.
That's that transparency.
Exactly.
That people need to see. So people just don't want to be open about it. They think that it's secretive, but the customers are watching, And as a customer, you got to be careful reading reviews and things. There's a lot of hype around people. And so there's going to be a lot of hyping them out, but it might not be a true reflection of what's happening with their customer service and people. Because if people aren't satisfied, they're just not going to come back, and you might not hear from them again. Right. And so that's not reflected in the hype on, the lives and everything. People are like, yeah, I do this and this, but you don't know, that might be her cousin. Right. Right. So they're not going to say anything bad. But what's really reflective is looking at the data, how many times are one-time buyers and how many times are frequent buyers.
Right. Exactly. Right. Because I feel like, having the repeat business is that tells a story in itself.
Yes, especially if it's a product that is repeatable. Right, that you need to keep using. So hair care, skincare, if they don't come back, it's because they didn't see the results.
There's a flaw.
There's a flaw
in the process, the product, something.
Because some products are a one-time buy typically, or it's you might not buy it for every 3 years. Right, take a phone. You replace it every now and then. But if you got hair care that lasts a month and they don't come back that next month, and it's not because of financial reasons, it's because of your product. Yeah, and so you need to really look at that. So don't get caught up in the hype. And really, they might not share their numbers, but just be realizing just because there's a lot of positivity on their post, it might be because the more negativity is just taking their business elsewhere. They don't need to post about it. They just know it's not for them.
Because I'm kind of typically the same way. Like I just go somewhere else because I won't waste time saying, "Oh, don't shop with this person." And
no, you just know it's not for you, and you're gonna take your business, whether it's from customer service, product quality, or any type of reason. You just know it's not for you. Right. And so I got caught up in the hype over here, and I got a product I don't want. Right, and it's just like, because I got caught up in some hype. Ouch. Right. So it's just like, I read the comments, people was popping. It's the only name you saw on the post and everything. I was like, that's clearly it then. Yeah. I got there, I said, no, they're just popular.
It's just clout.
Yeah. And so you got to watch out. Just because it's popular don't mean it's a good product. So watch where your money goes.
I thought about all of that.
Yeah.
I thought about all of that. And me personally, like I was telling Quita, I don't think I haven't had an issue.
Right.
Thank God, like that. I haven't had those types of issues where, I have to get like that with people, or I don't even feel like that's necessary, first of all. Because when I was a manager and I had to deal with women, who just, they felt like I shouldn't have even been working in the store anyway. Because I wasn't plus size.
First off.
And I'm like, first of all, I'm still a woman.
Right.
At the end of the day.
Right.
We have the same body parts.
Right.
My stuff work, your stuff work.
Right.
I understand what you're going through. Just because we don't wear the same pant size, that doesn't mean that I cannot help you put your outfits together, put your looks together.
Body type.
Exactly. Right. I know what's flattering and what's not flattering.
What's more flattering on a curvaceous body than a slim body. You don't have to be that body to know. It's like you just learn it.
And then I had to build that trust there with them because they had to see, she a tiny little thing, but she know what she doing. Yes, because at heart, I'm a stylist. I'm an artist.
Yep.
And I had to keep sharing that with them over and over. And sometimes you really do. You have to get on their level emotionally.
Yeah, you got to meet them where they're at.
And you have to tell them, this is how I'm qualified to help you.
Yes.
This is how I'm qualified to bring this product to market.
Right.
This is why I'm able to do what I do.
Right.
A lot of people did not know that I was a stylist for 15 years.
Exactly.
Half the city did not know that.
Right.
Now they're looking at, she does hair, she does, she does the braids, like she cold with the braids. Oh, now she got a product.
Right. Now you're putting it out there. Yep.
Now it's like, okay, now people's attention have gone to, oh, you do hair.
Right. Yes, I am hair. Hair is me.
Exactly. Right. Now they're like, okay, cool, you do a podcast? Yes.
Yes, I am.
Like you have to, I feel like you have to keep putting yourself out there. You have to keep putting in the work. You have to keep giving them that customer service. And even if people are not respectful with you, there's another respectful way that you can let them know you need to have respect for me. Yeah. Because even though I'm a business, I'm exactly at the end of the day, I'm still a person. But there's a way to do it. Yes. So
it's not by getting combative with them on Facebook.
You don't.
No.
You don't.
No. If you run your business strictly on Facebook, I'll tell you, California, where I was at, we didn't use Facebook.
Yeah, when you told me that, I was like, oh my gosh.
When I moved to college in South Dakota and people were on Facebook, I was like, y'all on Facebook?
I always felt like
we're
Cali.
On Twitter.
I know. Cali is like, to me, I always feel like Cali and New York are like light years ahead.
Yes, and so you got to meet them there.
Yeah.
Right? So, using TikTok as marketing, you got to meet them there. And so, like I said, you got to bring them to you. You can't just expect them to come. Like, humble yourself as a company starting out, realizing, if you know your product is great, it will get there, but only if you allow it to.
Exactly.
And you can't be in your own way just because you think, well, because I got this bomb product, people have to come to it.
Yeah.
They said no.
There's plenty of bomb products at also.
Yes.
In Sephora.
Yeah.
And MAC.
But what makes you different from the corporation is personalized. Mm-hmm. I can interact with you.
Yep.
And you're going to know where in the steps it is. Well, that means you got to hire someone else to track that.
Right.
Or you take pride in it and you say, hey, just because it left my hands and it's in USPS doesn't mean I'm not responsible for it anymore. And I care if your package got lost. I care if something got mishandled.
We can definitely talk about that.
Yes.
Let's talk about how you ordered this sweater. Everybody wants to use this COVID-19 foolishness message.
Yes.
Even my vendor, like I ate that. I had to eat that.
Right.
Because they made it, but it was 15, almost 20 days later from the time that you ordered it. Then they had got it. They had already got it at the warehouse. Like, this is me being transparent about business right now. I'm being real with y'all right now because a lot of times people don't know this on the back end. Customers don't know this, but thank God I have a friend who took time, say, okay, I want this. This is, I like it. This is what I want. She bought it.
Yeah.
Then we went through the whole process because he even said he had the same issue too. Same manufacturer. We have the same issue. Yeah. So it had nothing to do with COVID-19.
No.
That is how you operate as a business.
Right.
So now I'm finding out that there's a hiccup in your process. And you see, I'm a system person.
That's affecting me.
It's affecting me.
Yes.
So I have to eat the cost.
Yep.
So after the 20 or 30 days later that we finally got the package out, USPS loses it.
Yeah, so after you got it fixed and it's out of your hands and now in a different company's hands and they mess up, who gets affected?
It's still me.
You.
It's still
Right.
you as the customer.
Yeah.
They don't care. Once
They have no responsibility.
They have no
and they
responsibility and no accountability. There's nothing that they are going to do. There's nothing.
For you,
oh, did
because
you
you're
have
not their
insurance?
customer.
First of all, it's not even the fact that I had insurance or not. It's the fact that you guys were careless and didn't pay attention to the label.
Right.
You probably put it in somebody else's mailbox. And I'm just like, but you have no problem dropping the bills off, though.
The bills always make it. That's never in the wrong mailbox, I'll tell you that. Always there. Always there. But my packages, they're missing. So
no, when I was thinking about the whole thing, I was like, now I'm thinking, do I need to take off the merch? Like, do I need to take off the apparel? Because I don't want to keep going through the same thing with these people.
Right.
So I thought I was thinking about all that. I was like, wow.
But as a customer, when you're handling it and you're being open with me and you fix it, I'm going to come back. Because I was like, okay, I understand hiccups in business because it's a human process, right? There's human error to it. But if you fix it and you're proactive, even if it's not directly your error, now you got a returning customer instead of that one and done.
Exactly.
You know? So I'll come back because I know she'll handle the business. I feel like I'm cared for. I know what's going on. And COVID-19 is not an excuse.
It's not an excuse.
That means you got to shift when you order, when you expect. You got to understand how much people are going to buy and buy excess if you know that it's going to go down.
And my thing is, they knew that they had these vendors. They knew that they had these businesses already set up with them.
Right.
So my thing is, if I'm already getting off orders to you, and it was already taking you 10 days before to get it out, no, that's your process.
That's just your process.
That is your process, and that's something that you have to fix. Because now we can't blame what we've been doing on COVID. No, that's just how we've been operating.
Right.
So we can't then utilize that to say, okay, well, this is another reason as to why you're going to have to wait 2 more weeks. No.
There's certain products you can't wait or you don't want to wait, like with hair care.
Yeah.
If I'm using your hair care and I'm going to go order again and now I got to wait for you to restock.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Switch to Shea? Switch to Cantu?
Exactly.
When I'm already committed to you and my hair is now adjusted to you.
Boom.
I'm doing a skincare routine and now I got to wait a couple weeks to get it re-upped and I'm not even guaranteed to get that product. What do? I go to a product that I know I'm going to get. Cetaphil's sitting on the store. I can get that anytime, any day.
It's always there.
It's readily available because they mass produce. They don't put love into it. They just mass produce. And I know it will always be there.
Yeah.
And so.
Even if it's mediocre.
Mediocre. I love your product, but if I can't get it consistently, I don't want to commit to it.
Right.
Because once my skin's reacting flawless and it goes away, I don't want to be fluctuating in my hygiene and beauty. I don't want to be fluctuating. So I want to be consistent. And if you're not consistent, I'm not going to be consistent with you as a customer.
And the dollar becomes inconsistent.
The dollar disappears. So it happens.
So I know we touched on pretty much all of this. How we talked about how to reach outside customers out of the demographic, out of the immediate demographic. Like, say my main customer base was Augusta.
Right.
How am I going to get to Philly, to Florida, to Cali, to Mississippi, to Alabama, Louisiana? How am I going to get to all of those people?
Especially if you have a product that can get shipped there, right?
Yes.
My mom asked me why I put Los Angeles on one of my products I was trying to sell. So Los Angeles people know it's out there for them. So when they're looking for things in Los Angeles and Jules from Jade pops up, hey, what's this? Oh, I like this. Oh, where are you at? I can meet you in Los Angeles. Right. I can get this to you.
Right.
Just because I'm not physically there does not mean I can't get this to you in 3 days.
Exactly. So the geotagging helps.
Geotagging is essential. Hashtags is essential. So if you do hair care, Los Angeles hair care, curls in Los Angeles, things that, the hashtags that people are actually searching for.
Right.
Curly girls Los Angeles.
Right.
You find pages that are curly girls in Los Angeles. You got a Instagram that you can find curly heads in Los Angeles because that's something people really like. Let me feed those curls for you.
Exactly.
Can I meet you? Can I pay for you to advertise this on your Instagram? If there's customers there, there's no shame of paying $50 for an Instagram post.
Right. Exactly.
If it gets you product.
Yeah.
And people always like, I'm not posting on Instagram. I said, that's where people are making their money.
Yeah.
You got Instagram models. You got people selling their products. You got boutiques on Instagram. You got skincare on Instagram. You got hair care on Instagram. You're meeting the people where they're at.
Right.
It's not Facebook anymore. It's not just Facebook anymore.
Yeah. Because that, oh my God.
So
Yeah.
meet them. But geotagging, especially if your product can get there, let them know. Los Angeles, Boston, tag little states and cities.
And following
Random
your
ass
followers.
ones. Yes.
Following your followers.
Seeing what they're looking for.
Exactly.
Because you be scrolling endlessly.
And you can see what they're liking. And
Yeah.
if you go to that post and like that post that they liked, or follow that brand or that person that they follow, then you start targeting those people.
Yeah.
And when you put out your ads, then you're gonna start reaching those people.
Yes.
So
and there's nothing wrong with seeing successful businesses at a place that you want to get at and seeing what they're doing, not copying, because if you copy someone, you will never be that somebody.
Oh yeah.
But you can take trinkets here and there and then build you.
Right.
But
Exactly.
understanding, okay, what in their marketing is working? How are they getting their people to engage? Is it a certain hashtag they use?
Yep.
Is it a long, lengthy message? No. People
Right.
aren't trying to read Bibles on Instagram posts. They want to see what you got to offer, and they want to see it visually.
Exactly.
They want to see it visually. That's the whole engineering that I do. I do visual management, and it's to get people out of the paper here and just see it.
Right. Exactly.
And so if I can put a picture up there for you, that's going to do a lot more than a paragraph.
Exactly.
Because people are lazy, especially when they're not working and they're trying to buy things. If it's visually pleasing, they're going to be more likely to buy it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a
exactly.
worse product. If
Yeah.
it's prettier, they're going to buy it.
Right.
And so that's where you're meeting. So plastic bottle to glass bottle, a slight change that might seem small to us might make your business pop.
Exactly.
Because like glass represents something completely different than a plastic bottle, even though the
It's
same
luxury.
product is inside of it. Yeah, you want to
Yeah.
feel like you invested in this product and didn't just buy it off, from the Dollar Tree where they put all their products in plastic. But be
Exactly.
humble. You started there and you got to the glass bottles. Right? So don't knock those things, but understand that, hey, people want the glass bottles. I'm going to start it off in plastic with the goal to get to the glass.
Right.
And then I'm going to put my labels on the glass. Then I'm going to do this and start building step by step. But it's, like you said, it's a marathon. You're going to keep going. You're going to have water stations. You're going to have brake stations. You're going to have to revamp. You're going to have to step back, see what's working, see what's not working, and then go from there. You just can't do the same thing over and over and over again, because people get bored. People get used to it. They get complacent. They want to be active. They want to see what's going on. So if it's the same thing over and over and over again, then they start to lose trust in the product.
And interest.
And interest. You might not even lose trust. You might trust it's an amazing product, but if it's not interesting anymore, they're not going to want it, and they're going to go to the next hyped thing. Right? So you got to keep yourself hyped.
Yeah.
So this is a new product dropping, right?
People's attention spans is like
It
so
might be a
short these
slightest
days.
change in color on the labeling.
Yeah, exactly.
That can make them be like, it just got revamped. Right? Marketing, shampoo bottles go through a complete makeover.
Yeah.
Same product inside it, or a worse product inside it, because they're taking the cheap route and cutting out the good products and putting in fillers.
Yeah.
But the bottle's pretty. They re-upped it, so they must have came up with a new solution, right? And they're going to go to it automatically.
Right.
So whether it's a slight change in color, slight change in marketing, slight change in you with how you advertise yourself, right?
Exactly.
They're watching you as the person behind it. So what is JJ doing?
You're growing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're a nail tech, eyelash tech person, please make sure those are popping.
Yeah.
Because if you get a haircut from someone with a janky haircut, you're going to be less likely to get it from them.
Yes.
If you're getting a wig installed and that person's wig is slipping and you can see their lace, you might not want to go back or trust that they
like,
got you
You
correctly.
were supposed to give me a no lace, no trace.
Right.
But I can definitely see it.
Yes. You're selling curly hair products, but you got a relaxer, right? That don't make sense, So where you gotta meet them and you gotta represent your brand. So that's
I wanted to talk about that real quick too, because when I had first came on the scene back in 2012 and started up with business and everything, I was trying to do hair extensions. I was trying to do like the Peruvian, and I trust me, I had it on deck. Like I had people in San Antonio buying hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But then I was just like, that lasted maybe 6 months.
Right.
For me.
It's a
I literally,
phase.
I had got a 2 investors,
Yep.
poured the money into the business, got the product, read up, pretty much flipped it 2 or 3 times. No, I think I flipped it like 3 times for sure. I flipped it 3 times.
Yep.
But once I made the money back, I just gave them all back their money.
Right.
And I just pretty much went back to the drawing board because I was like,
it wasn't you.
I'm not about to be wearing extensions my whole life. Like,
Right.
I actually do like my curls.
Yeah.
Because that was like right at the beginning of me going natural. Because I cut my hair in 2010 and then just started growing out my little fro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had cut it one more time in 2012 and colored it all blonde. Yeah. So that's how it started. So I was like, I'm not about to be doing no extensions because this ain't me.
Right.
And I always wanted to symbolize what I was, you know, and I wanted to find more people like me. Yep. So Curly Kink was like,
that's you.
That was me.
You are the brand.
Exactly.
Like you represent it.
Yes. And I'm like, I love everything about curls. Yeah. Like when it comes to coloring, keeping the hair moisturized while it's colored.
The process,
keeping it healthy, you know, making sure the color stays vibrant.
Yes.
I was so into that. Yes. So I just I was like, you know what? This is me and this is what I want other girls like me who look like me or who have curls like me. I want them to feel you know, feel loved like when they utilize everything from the brand.
And that's one thing, like, people love this for the Throwback Thursdays.
Oh, yes.
So you do hair color, right? Yeah. And you worked with blonde. And you said you started off with a blonde that was not good. And then you finally got to the blonde you're at. You say, hey, look at where I started at. Yep. And look where I progressed to.
Exactly.
Say, you know that over these years, I have learned to get from this that I was walking around with on my head as I should not have been.
Exactly.
And now I'm at the platinum blonde. I'm at the beautiful blonde that I want to be. Yep. And I'm not just trying to throw this at you. I'm showing you the process behind it.
Right.
And people start to see that. So they love Throwback Thursdays, right?
Yeah, we got to take advantage of that. So Anna will be on the team. Anna is on the Curly Kink team.
Yes.
So she will be handling everything as far as social media engagement and all that. And I'm excited. Yes. So, I mean, it's pretty much official. Like, it's about to go down. Like, this is literally like, this is going to be like my go-to girl for all things analytics, data, analytics. All that. Yes. So I'm really hyped. Like, it's going down. I know people are like, oh, you're working with your friends, it's risky, but you got to think about what your friends embody. You have to think about what their values are, and you value. We have our values are aligned. Yeah. So I know that the partnership is It was like almost. Yeah. It was like something that I knew was going to happen. It was just like, boom, it needed to happen.
And there's a difference between bringing on a friend and bringing on a qualified individual who happens to be a friend, right? It's that's like I was talking about. You're not bringing on a model to look at your numbers, right?
Exactly.
They're like, how are you going to have a model do that? It's like, no.
Let's take a step
She
back.
has the education behind the numbers and she has done it and just happens to be that, right? Exactly. And so it's not like she's like, oh, this is a cool friend, let me put her on to this company. It's like, she's a cool friend, but I'm going to bring her on because she can also add value outside of a friendship to the company.
Exactly.
And so that's why you can't always throw friends and family into something because they just might not be qualified, and that's okay.
And they
might a like and a share is cool too. Right. They might not even care. Right. So we got family that got relaxers. Yeah. They might not want, it might not apply to them. A like and a share is the best they can do. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Which is okay. Yeah. But just know where the lane that you're in. Right.
Yep.
So yeah, I know the data, the analytics, everything.
So we talk about calculating profit?
Oh, no. Okay. You got to calculate the profit.
30K.
Yes.
Say I made 30K in 6 days.
30K in 6 days. That is.
Let's break down that 30K. Because I showed you that I made 30K.
Let's say revenue, profit, sales, times worked is all different. So just because you had, let's say 500 products and you made 30,000 off those 500 products, that is not your net profit. You got to account for how much you spent in the actual raw material.
Overhead.
You got to, you know, there's fixed variables and, you got fixed costs and variable costs.
Yep. Oh, this bring me back to my accounting days.
Yes. So you got all these different costs, right? So you got the raw material, You got the things as simple as how much did it cost you? Plug in your blender and blend those things by hand.
Yep.
You got to calculate the electricity, and it might change based on demand, fluctuations, and things. So just because you saw someone make $30,000, say, in 10 minutes, they actually may have only made $2,000
for themselves.
Right. And so say that process takes 2 months to repeat. Now they're only making $2,000 every 2 months. And so the numbers start to look really different.
Yeah.
So yeah, $30,000 is great depending on how much time and effort you're putting into it and how much that reproduces itself. And so yeah, if you're working 80-hour weeks and making that, you know, if you start dividing hours worked over actual profit made, you might be making less than you did at a 9 to 5, which is okay if you're really building the brand for longevity. But if you think you're going to stay there and keep doing that and burning yourself out, you're going to walk away from that so quick, because you can't consistently put in 80-hour weeks expecting that much of a return, because it's not going to matter. You don't have a life. Exactly. You don't have any of this.
Yeah. Because you're putting your all into the production, but then you're not really getting You're not really getting anything for it.
And that's what, And if you're having to put 80 hours into a week, that's when you need to delegate. So you might not be qualified to run social media, to actually make the products, to actually ship the products, you know, actually, you know, put the products in the boxes and everything. Exactly. It might be more financially beneficial to hire someone to do that.
Exactly.
Right? And someone says, well, I want to do it all. This is my brand.
Okay.
I said, well,
but you're going to lack somewhere. You're going to drop the ball somewhere.
Right. So you might be meeting the actual number demand, but now customer service is down because you're too busy making the product or actually doing this. And so now customer service goes down, and now your demand goes down and your profit goes down.
And then how do you think, how do I want to ask? The quality of the product change. The quality of the products can change.
Yes.
If somewhere in the process, the love and the passion was removed.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And so there's a thing in Lean Six Sigma. I won't get too much into it, but you can, let's say you can have 100% efficiency, no defects, everything is done right, everything's done correctly. The amount of cost it takes to get it to 100% efficiency is more expensive than having a few defects. And so it's going to cost you a lot more money to have a seamless process that's going to burn you out, that's going to burn your people out, that's going to burn your process out, than having a few kinks here and there and understanding that. And so people are trying to perfect something, but there is a point of no return. So this is the best it might get financially. Anything past this is going to hurt you. Even though your quality is going up, your profit's going down.
Right.
And so understanding that balancing point of like, this is where the product meets the demand, makes the customer happy. I don't need to exceed this.
Right.
And it's not because you don't care about your customers. It's like, this is what they want. I can make this XYZ better, more faster, anything. But if they're happy getting it within 5 days, I don't have to push to get it out there in 2 days.
Exactly.
Because that's going to hurt you. But now if they're saying, I don't want to wait 2-3 weeks for this, okay, and they start losing that money, then you need to start looking at the customer service. But don't go above and beyond for something that hurts your pockets.
Right.
You know? So...
I've learned and I've returned. I'm ready to go out and be better. I'm ready to go out and be great.
Strive.
So we got a couple more minutes left. Okay. So let's see what we're going to leave them with, because I know they're going to be picking their faces up after this. Because a lot of gems sprinkled everywhere. This was definitely an exciting one. I like this. I'm glad we did this.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Talking about the Black-owned business more directly, because I don't know if was it actually filmed or were we just going off the head? I think that's when you were switching out the things.
The Black Wall Street.
Oh, just what Quita asked.
Yes. Okay. So she said,
the Black-owned.
She was saying,
just because you're Black-owned doesn't mean that's your only clientele. That just means it's who you are. That just means that you are Black and you have a business and you own that. But that doesn't mean you only meet one demographic.
Right, exactly. One customer.
Just because you sell to other demographics does not mean you're a sellout. That just means you reach other demographics.
I don't like that word.
The sellout?
I don't like that word.
No, especially when it is applied to being African American.
Yeah,
and
because I'm like,
catering
how
to
am
other
I
people.
selling out? Like,
no, I'm selling out of my product.
I know for a fact that we as Black people shop outside of
yes,
Black people,
and we're more confident doing that because for some reason we think a Caucasian produces a better quality product and we have more trust in that. Now that goes very deep into what we've been ingrained with.
That's a belief system.
That's a belief system that we were trained to do because they've been trained to take our money in a different way than they were hundreds of years ago. So that's a whole different podcast.
Oh my God.
But we trust our money with people outside of our own demographic, just been how we've been held down.
Even when we go to the hair stores.
Oh yeah.
We're not dealing with Black people, but we're dealing with Black products.
Yeah. You know, and so no, you're not a sellout except for you're selling out of your products. But understanding that, yeah, I am a proud Black-owned business that has a product that reaches other demographics.
Exactly.
Unless you want it to only meet one demographic, which you might have your niche and that's what it is. Mm-hmm. But don't limit yourself if your hair care or your skin care can go to other people.
Exactly.
Don't lower your price because your community, your demographic saying that's too much. Mm-hmm. You're like, no, that's a disservice to y'all saying you can't afford this. Mm-hmm. You don't want to get to a level that you can afford a quality product.
Exactly.
That is what
my client said yesterday. She literally sat there and told me, because I said to her, I said, yeah, your friend was scheduling an appointment, but she didn't come. Yeah. Before the last words even left my lips, she's like, she can't afford you. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I said, well, I know I'm not for everyone. She's like,
and that's
like,
okay.
I know. She said, but that's why I come to you. She said, because I know that I know why I'm paying how much I'm paying for my braids.
For a real reason.
But I know why.
Yes.
She's like, I know the quality of your work, and I'm going to pay for that. Mm-hmm. I pay for what I want. Just like he said, if I want it, I'm going to buy it.
You can't be for everybody.
Exactly.
And not all money is good money.
And I tell stylists all the time, like, whenever we have conversations and they ask me, like, you know, how busy I am as far as doing hair and how can I do all of this and still do hair. That's because I pick and choose
where
my clients.
Yeah.
And I pick and choose where I need to be. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to my prices, I'm like, bro, 15 years in the game, I'm not doing this for $50. Because one, I was doing it before I even had a license and I was still doing it to the best of my ability and it was still great quality.
Exactly.
Now I'm licensed, more educated.
You paid for that because you paid for that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's reflected in your prices. And you don't meet people down here. You make them elevate, which is good. You want people to elevate to you.
I do want people to elevate.
Yes.
I want people to know that the reason why you pay for this service by this service provider, beauty professional, the reason why you're paying it is because we know what we're doing. We're
and
trained.
The work has been put behind it.
Exactly.
I'm not coming out my first week braiding hair. I'm charging you $200 for something not less. I haven't earned that worth.
Exactly.
Right? But if you went to school, you have the certifications, you have the licenses, that's going to be reflected in the pricing.
Exactly.
If I don't want to pay $120 to get my hair dyed, I can go to someone who's charging me $50, but now they're using Arctic Fox on my head or something, right? Trying to act like they hide the box or something and say, hey, or they just mess it up.
Exactly.
Right? Because I wanted the cheaper price. Right. You see cheaper is not better. Sometimes it is, but you got to do the research.
Yeah.
There's a happy medium point, and people want to either go for the highest one or lowest one, but the middle ground is usually where the best products are.
Yeah.
Because the lowest ground is people just trying to scramble and get some kind of money.
And just get some cash.
And just get cash. And the high ground is they figured out the marketing and everything, and now their product is probably not even up there, but they figured out how to visually appease you, and you're going to go buy to the hype.
Exactly. Buying to the hype.
And so they're going to jack up their prices and price gouge you because you're willing to do it. And usually they're Caucasian because you have more trust in it. Mm-hmm. And that's something as a community that we and everyone needs to work on.
Exactly.
Because there are quality products within the Black community that deserve to be at the price it is at.
Exactly.
And just because you're a friend, no, you don't get a discount. I'm going to pay your full service as a friend because as a friend, I know you deserve that price.
And it's respect.
And respect.
Yeah.
So if I want to give you a discount, then I'll give you a discount. But don't be asking me for no discount.
Exactly.
So
even like it's funny because I've already been asked. I'm like, and I if I say this around him, I already know his facial expression. So I told them that this is $5.
Right.
And the shampoo is like $18. Oh, that's too much for shampoo.
Well, you got a $5 product. Why do you have an $18 product?
And I'm like, but you're paying $5 for 2 ounces.
Right. That's the other thing.
This
Doing
is
the
actually,
math behind it, right?
Yeah,
they don't know
but
how to scale the math and the numbers.
But it's actually gonna last you. Like
Right.
it's gonna last you 30 days. So you're only
Right.
paying you're paying $5 for something that's gonna last you 30 days or more. Because
They
you're
don't
not
wanna-
using it every
They
day.
don't want to do the math behind it, JJ. They don't want to do it.
So
Numbers.
we'll be wrapping it up. We're definitely gonna wrap it up. That is not right. Okay, cool. So I know Quita had brought up we did talk about this, stand apart from corporations. You talked about that.
Yep.
Going from, let's see, black businesses going from now. Do you think we are building another Black Wall Street? I definitely feel like we can get there.
You can get there.
We can definitely get there because
But don't limit yourself to
yeah.
just one demographic. You can have a whole Wall Street where your business is booming, but don't isolate yourself to where you limit whose dollars come into your pocket.
Yeah.
Because they're not afraid to take your money.
Oh yeah.
You better believe you better get their money too.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think, like I was saying, as far as us getting there, I think we can get there and be respected as black business owners.
Business owners who happen to be black, right?
Like we've made enough noise about racial profiling, racial bias, and we've made enough noise about it,
right?
To the point where I'm like, okay, now it's time for us to just execute,
right? And
plan and execute, and just and move forward.
Yep.
Because that can't be the narrative.
No.
Every single day, that can't be the narrative. Because at some point we have to grow.
Yep.
So.
Yes.
So guys, that was another dope episode. Thank y'all for listening, and we definitely appreciate your time. Share this podcast with everyone. Share the link, subscribe so you can get updates about new episodes dropping. Also stay tuned because we'll definitely have more visuals for the podcast and more dope entrepreneurs and businesswomen, businessmen. More creatives will be on, so definitely check out the next few episodes coming out. We're going to be paying homage to the creatives in the city.
Ooh.
Yes.
Represent your own city.
Yes.
The city.
Most definitely. And I was raised all over, but I'm definitely here, so I'm representing and I'm showing love.
Yep.
Because that's what I do. So thank you again, Anna, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Always.
Yes.
And we'll be on again with another follow-up, another part to this conversation. I like to do follow-ups in parts.
Oh yeah.
So there'll definitely be a whole nother episode. Just building more on the conversation. But thank you guys again. Like I said again, thank you, Anna, for coming on and joining. And peace.